Bauer joins us, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. All right, Scott, Costco trying to make its way back here towards $500 the last few days.
Absolutely. And from a technical standpoint, Oliver, if you look at the charts, there's a big gap right in the kind of 485 to 490 area. That's something that traders look at all the time for a potential reversion back to that area where there's, no trade or a gap here. So Costco in general, it's a stock I believe you have to have in your portfolio long term. You just buy it, you put it away. It is best in class. I'm a little, I don't want to say I'm bearish. I'm just a little skeptical for this earnings report. I don't want to play the downside because I'm not bearish. I'm just skeptical. So what I'm doing for this particular report here, this particular trade, is from a technical standpoint, I am just looking at that gap and saying that if Costco does come out with, they don't even have to have great guidance. I think what they need to do, Oliver, is just not say the same things that Walmart and Target said. And this stock probably gets a pop. And that pop, in my opinion, if it is to the upside, is going to be right to that gap area. So what I'm doing here, and it's a very inexpensive way of playing this upside, is I'm actually selling this week's 485 call. So that gives us, $33 or so. That's about your 8% move to the upside right now. But I'm buying next week's 485 call. I'm creating this calendar spread. And what I'm looking to do really is take advantage of the massive, massive option premium or implied volatility that's built into this week's options and buy next week's options at a much cheaper volatility. Now, this spread works great on any upside move unless we get a blowout move up to like 515 or so. That's where this would start giving some money back. Now, to the downside, this spread is not going to work, but my risk is the most I can risk on this, the most I can lose is $1 per spread. So it's a way, again, to kind of technically play that gap area to the upside very inexpensively, and I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish in the stock, but I'm cautious.
Got it. You're not, and not hyper bullish, but also, you want this thing to hit the sweet spot of your trade. You get a wide break even, but there's a good chunk of that profitability zone that is not a big profit. You're basically kind of looking for this thing to hit your apex and try and find kind of a middle ground here.
Absolutely. And listen, there's one day. I mean, the long option goes out next Friday, but there's one day with the short here. So what we're going to see is all of that option premium, all that implied volatility, right, that's causing the price of that option to be so expensive, that's going to disintegrate pretty quickly. It's just a matter of where does the stock price fall in. But as you can see on that chart there's a pretty wide range for profitability as long as it's kind of to the upside. If the stock just stays right here, the spread probably does okay, maybe just, as a wash. To the downside, I know what my risk is.
Okay. Hey, Scott, the point two I really like, as Jeff mentioned, is there's a fair amount of volatility getting priced into Costco now, which allows you to do this trade. Essentially, that's what's appealing about it, selling the call for tomorrow around the earnings. So stock that normally is not this volatile, but after the last couple weeks is. Thing is, this morning we've got a pretty notable bullish push here. NASDAQ at multi-day highs. We put in some higher lows, maybe a higher high. What do you think, Scott? Give me a thought on the broad market real quick as NVIDIA's come back positive too. Costco maybe brings it home?
Yeah, I'm still not so optimistic. Let's say that. Again, we've talked about this. I thought we hit a bottoming process. I don't think we hit the bottom yet, but I thought we hit a bottoming process. I'm very cautious about this overall rally here. And what I would be doing is accumulating some downside protection on any one of these rallies, especially as overall volatility goes down a little bit. I'd be just accumulating some downside protection.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Bauer. A theme for Costco that applies to the broad market here. Cautious and Not expecting huge rips higher, but aware and ready to act if we do pick a direction like the trade for Costco, fading the short-term upside, but buying some long-term stability in the shares.